Murder as a tool of power. Murder was another tool the Gotti family used to maintain their grip on power. John Gotti himself was directly involved in several high-profile killings, both before and after becoming the boss of the Gambino family. The murders were often carried out with precision and ruthlessness, serving as a warning to others who might challenge their authority. One of the most infamous murders linked to Gotti was the killing of Paul Castellano. The carefully orchestrated hit eliminated a major obstacle in Gotti's path to leadership and sent a clear message to other potential rivals. Gotti's willingness to resort to violence to achieve his goals became a defining characteristic of his reign. The Gotti Family, a Chronicle of Crime. Origins and Rise to Power. The Gotti family, one of the most notorious organized crime families in American history, is synonymous with the Gambino crime family. The family's rise to infamy began with John Gotti, often referred to as the Dapper Don, or the Teflon Don, due to his flamboyant style and ability to evade conviction. Born on October 27, 1940, in the Bronx, New York, John Gotti grew up in poverty as one of 13 children. His early life was marked by petty crime, which eventually escalated to more serious offenses. By the 1960s, Gotti had joined the Gambino crime family, one of the 5 families that dominate organized crime activities in New York City. Under the tutelage of Aniello Dellacroce, the underboss of the Gambino family, Gotti quickly climbed the ranks. His rise was marked by a ruthless determination and a willingness to eliminate anyone who stood in his way. The path to leadership. Gotti's ascent to power was cemented in December 1985 when he orchestrated the murder of Paul Castellano, the then boss of the Gambino family. The assassination, carried out in front of Sparks Steakhouse in Manhattan, was a bold move that shocked both the criminal underworld and law enforcement. Castellano's death paved the way for Gotti to become the boss of the Gambino family, a position he solidified through strategic alliances and brutal enforcement. As the head of the Gambino family, Gotti oversaw a vast criminal enterprise that included blackmail, extortion, murder, and illegal gambling. The family's influence extended beyond New York, reaching into various parts of the United States and even overseas. Gotti's leadership style was characterized by his public persona and his efforts to project an image of invincibility. Blackmail and extortion. Blackmail and extortion were central to the Gotti family's operations. They employed these tactics to maintain control over their territories and to extract money from businesses and individuals. The Gambino family targeted a wide range of victims, from small business owners to high-profile individuals, using threats of violence and exposure to force compliance. One notable example of their extortion activities was the infiltration of the construction industry in New York City. The Gotti family exerted control over labor unions and used their influence to extort money from contractors and developers. By manipulating union leaders and intimidating workers, they ensured that a significant portion of construction projects in the city funneled profits into their coffers. Murder as a tool of power. Murder was another tool the Gotti family used to maintain their grip on power. John Gotti himself was directly involved in several high-profile killings, both before and after becoming the boss of the Gambino family. The murders were often carried out with precision and ruthlessness, serving as a warning to others who might challenge their authority. One of the most infamous murders linked to Gotti was the killing of Paul Castellano. The carefully orchestrated hit eliminated a major obstacle in Gotti's path to leadership and sent a clear message to other potential rivals. Gotti's willingness to resort to violence to achieve his goals became a defining characteristic of his reign. Under Gotti's leadership, the Gambino family also maintained a strict code of silence, known as omertà. This code discouraged members from cooperating with law enforcement and ensured that those who betrayed the family faced severe consequences. The threat of death loomed over anyone who considered breaking this code, further solidifying Gotti's control. The Teflon Don John Gotti earned the nickname the Teflon Don due to his ability to avoid conviction despite numerous attempts by law enforcement to bring him to justice. Throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, Gotti faced multiple trials on charges ranging from racketeering to murder. However, each time, he managed to escape conviction, often through jury tampering, witness intimidation, or lack of evidence. Gotti's flamboyant style and charismatic personality endeared him to some members of the public and the media, who viewed him as a modern-day Robin Hood figure. He was often seen in expensive suits and surrounded by an entourage, projecting an image of power and confidence. This public persona, combined with his apparent invincibility in court, only added to his mystique. However, Gotti's luck eventually ran out. In 1992, he was finally convicted on charges of murder and racketeering, thanks in part to the testimony of his former underboss, Salvatore "Sammy the Bull" Gravano. Gravano's decision to turn state's witness marked a significant turning point in the government's efforts to dismantle the Gotti family's criminal empire. The downfall and legacy John Gotti was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, and he died of throat cancer in 2002 while serving his sentence. His imprisonment marked the beginning of the decline of the Gotti family's influence. Without their charismatic leader, the Gambino family struggled to maintain the same level of control and cohesion. Gotti's son, John A. Gotti, also known as Jr., attempted to take over the family business, but faced his own legal troubles. He was indicted multiple times on charges related to racketeering, extortion, and other crimes. Despite several high-profile trials, Junior Gotti managed to avoid long-term imprisonment, but his attempts to revive the family's fortunes were largely unsuccessful. The Gotti family's legacy is one of crime and violence, but it also serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of a life in organized crime. John Gotti's rise to power and subsequent fall highlight the temporary nature of such criminal empires. While he may have achieved a level of infamy and notoriety, his life ultimately ended in confinement and disease. Cultural impact. The story of the Gotti family has had a lasting impact on popular culture. John Gotti's life and exploits have been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and films. His charismatic personality and dramatic rise and fall have captivated the public imagination, making him one of the most well-known figures in the history of organized crime. One of the most notable portrayals of Gotti came in the 1996 HBO film Gotti, starring Armand Assante as John Gotti. The film provided a dramatized account of Gotti's life and criminal activities, further cementing his place in the pantheon of infamous mob bosses. More recently, the 2018 film Gotti, starring John Travolta, aimed to provide a more comprehensive look at Gotti's life, though it received mixed reviews. The future of the Gotti family. While the heyday of the Gotti family's power and influence has long passed, the legacy of John Gotti and his criminal empire continues to be felt. The Gambino family remains active, though significantly weakened compared to its peak under Gotti's leadership. The family's involvement in illegal activities such as gambling, loan sharking, and extortion persists, but with a lower profile and reduced impact. The story of the Gotti family serves as a reminder of the destructive nature of organized crime and the relentless efforts of law enforcement to combat it. Despite the allure of power and wealth, the consequences of a life in crime are often severe, as demonstrated by the eventual downfall of John Gotti and his associates. In conclusion, the Gotti family's history is a complex tale of ambition, violence, and the relentless pursuit of power. From John Gotti's rise to the top of the Gambino family to his eventual imprisonment and death, the family's story is a testament to the fleeting nature of criminal success. While their influence has waned, the Gotti family's place in the annals of American organized crime remains secure, a symbol of both the allure and the ultimate futility of a life built on crime.